All right, we go back to the chaos in Minneapolis and to a Fox News alert. Multiple sources telling Fox News' Bill Melugin, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino and some, not all, Border Patrol agents are leaving Minneapolis as soon as tomorrow. More on that as we get it. But in the meantime, a big talking point on the left has been that all of this has never been about immigration. With states like California and Texas, illegal immigration population far above that of Minnesota. But we're digging into why this chaos is happening in Minnesota, but not other places.
Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and all Democrat leaders should turn over all criminal illegal aliens currently incarcerated in their prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with any illegal aliens with active warrants or known criminal histories for immediate deportation. If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common sense cooperative measures that I will add have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota. ICE and local law enforcement can peacefully work together, as they are effectively doing in so many other states and jurisdictions.
The numbers back that up when it comes to states working with the feds. A recent report shows Texas and Florida are the top two states for ICE arrests. Is that because those areas cooperate with the federal government on enforcement? Joining me now, former acting ICE director Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, let's just clarify the talking point and the reality. The talking point is that all of this is going on in Minnesota for political reasons, and that they're not concentrating resources, DHS, into places like Texas and Florida where there are more illegal immigrants. But the stats show, in fact, there are more arrests happening in Texas and Florida. So why don't the streets look like they do in Minnesota?
Yeah, exactly. They've had 40,000 people arrested and deported from Florida. And it is all political, but not the way they're making it seem. It's political because of people like Frey and Walz insisting on these sanctuary cities doing everything they can to thwart ICE and make their job harder, thereby inviting more ICE agents in. So, yes, it's political, but on their part, and they want this fight. And your earlier conversation with Julian was just spot on about democracy. Our democracy can't work if laws are not enforced. But remember what Minnesota is doing. The most important part of the Democrats' open border scheme is to keep the illegal aliens here for electoral reasons. That's all this is about. They don't care about keeping ICE out. They care about keeping illegal aliens here. And that's what it's about, but it's politics, but on the other side.
The mechanical detail that makes the numbers disproportionate in terms of presence on the streets of Minneapolis versus, say, the streets of Dallas is that if a locality honors an ICE detainer, then it only takes one ICE agent to pick up a criminal illegal alien from a jail. But if you, like they do with under Jacob Frey in Minneapolis, release the criminal back onto the streets, now it takes a team to go get that guy on the streets. But I do want to ask you about this breaking news, Jonathan. Greg Bovino and some Border Patrol might be leaving Minneapolis as soon as tomorrow. It's hard to interpret that. I would have to think the mob, the chaos, the agitators, the insurgents will take that as a victory.
Yeah, that would be a concern that they take it as a victory. But one way of looking at it, they've been very effective. I think they've removed 3,000 people during the surge. So they've really probably got most of what they initially went in there for. And maybe during that call between President Trump and Governor Walz, there were some assurances of some cooperation between ICE and the local officials. And maybe that's part of the deal. Hey, because you're right, all you need is one guy to get him out of a jail. And Todd Lyons was talking about the other day on Fox that you need 10 to 15 agents now, because now you need agents to protect agents, and it's still far more unsafe. So hopefully they're getting cooperation, but they have been very effective putting all this aside in terms of arresting illegal aliens and criminally illegal aliens in Minnesota.
Yeah, but you go into the streets to arrest these guys with a team of 10 or 15, and then you also have to protect your own flank from the rioters in the streets. You have to protect yourself from, I don't know, the trash cans, the armed rioters, and so forth, the brick throwers, the car rammers. It's just a spiraling situation based upon the idea that you won't enforce democratic laws. We'll see if that changes. We'll see if Walz and Frey actually violate their own sanctuary city policies now to hand over the final remaining violent criminals, illegal aliens, to the federal government. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.